Yeah, I forgot I have to record this. Yeah, I thought you were all going to be muted, but that's okay because I don't think there'll be that many of us. Okay, I think we'll go ahead and get started though. So I'm Jeanette Ballinger. I have done the CLE training for a couple years now. The true secretary training is about 4 hours long, but we have about an hour or a little less if we're supposed to be keeping to their schedule. So if you're brand new, are there any of you who are brand new to being a secretary? Marlon, where are you from, Marlon? Oh, you're muted. Let me see if I can unmute you.
I think he does it.
Oh, you have to do it yourself. Well,
There we go.
yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Yep. Casper, Wyoming.
Oh, okay, great. Well, I'm in Du Bois, so I'm
Okay.
in your state.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
actually,
in Wheatland.
yeah. Is it Allie or is that how you?
Yes,
Yeah.
Allie. Yeah.
Jennifer's in Riverton.
Yep.
And
And I'm new too. I've not.
Hello, my division. Hi.
hi, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just seeing G43B.
I'm from Pueblo,
Okay. And are
and
you
I'm new also.
you are new? Oh, this is great. Well, then and Ron, I feel like you've been here before.
Right. Yeah. My wife is joining us. She's secretary for the Wellington Waverly Club.
Oh,
in
great.
Wellington.
Perfect.
And I'm secretary for the Eye Openers in Fort Collins.
Okay, your name looked familiar. And Tom, what I'm going to have you do, I think we'll go ahead and start so if you're brand new, we might want to have a private chat later because there will be a lot of questions probably that and whoever your secretary is going to be starting in October, they don't give you access to the Kiwanis Connect until October 1st. So that does make it a little difficult to, kind of see what's going on. But I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we'll go through this information. And if you'd put your questions in the chat, I think that would be better. So let's see if we can do this.
Jeanette,
Yes.
what I'm doing, just to give you some background here, is I'm currently the president of our club, but
Yes.
what I plan to do when I'm past president is to help our secretary. So
Yeah,
I
that's
won't
great.
be the secretary, but I want to kind of help lift that load because it's quite an intensive job, as I've noticed.
Yeah, it is a lot. And I've had every office in our club and been a lieutenant governor for 3 years. And now I've been the secretary for probably a 15-year stint. And it's one of those, I think I'm going to have to die to get rid of it because no one wants to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah. All righty. So today's April Fool's, of course. So this is just kind of a forum here. And so I guess we kind of had introductions. Allie, you didn't really say much to us. I do know you're our new division lieutenant governor, though.
Yes. Allie Philp. I grew up in Fremont and Hot Springs County. So hi, everyone up there. And I am the Division 10 lieutenant governor. And then starting next year, as long as it all passes with our new realignment, I believe it's Division 8 is what it's going to be now. It's either 8 or 9. We get a new number, but it's 9, yeah. And it's basically the whole top 2/3 of the state. So Casper, Sheridan, Buffalo, and all of that will be joining us as well.
Great, great.
So and I am also the Wheatland secretary. So away we go.
Okay, great. All
Sorry,
right.
my video is not working, so I'm here.
Okay. I actually knew your mother in my former school days, so.
Yes, yes.
Okay, all right. If you will please sign in via the chat and put your name, your club name, office, and your email, that would be very helpful. And then if there are things you would like me to send to you after we're finished, that makes it easier for me. So if you would do that, that would be great. So you're part of, well, hold on. We ran too many for it. Okay, so the secretary is actually a very important part of a bigger leadership team. So you have, your Kiwanis Club officers to the president of Kiwanis and all of the international, every time I try to move that, it goes. Serving with 7,000 other club secretaries, 875 lieutenant governors, 50 governors, and 20 board members. And together we help the Kiwanis family make a difference. I need to ask you, are you all just seeing my slides or are you seeing
No, but
anything else?
Yeah, I see the 4 videos on the side and then the slides.
Oh, okay. So I need to change that. I'll just put that smaller. Okay, so there are big responsibilities to being the secretary. You need to ensure that club operations run efficiently. You manage a lot of details. Work closely with the president and board of directors, manage the club records, and that's minutes, attendance, board meetings, participate in board discussions and decisions. And the leadership manual, there is a leadership manual. I don't know how many of you have seen that. I can send it to you virtually if you have not seen it. But the secretary sections are, the leadership manual has a section for the president, president-elect, a board member. So it's very helpful for secretaries and for all officers. The secretary section is 5 pages, but it's got a wealth of information for you. The Kiwanis 101 is part of the main, if you do the 4-hour training, which we will probably do at mid-year or at district convention in Colorado Springs in August. But Kiwanis 101 is just reminding people of the motto, which is serving the children of the world, defining statement. Kiwanis is a global organization of volunteers dedicated to improving the world one child and one community at a time. In our club, we recite that at every meeting, just to remind us why we are there. The vision statement, Kiwanis will be a positive influence in communities worldwide so that one day all children will wake up in communities that believe in them, nurture them, and provide the support they need to thrive. Then it also has our 6 objects of Kiwanis and Kiwanis International's strategic plan. So there's a lot of information there. So sometimes this is how I feel, is like, why am I doing this? But your club has elected you because they know you are willing to learn and use Kiwanis online reporting, able to discern and summarize action items and key points from meetings, pay attention to detail, you're organized and understand the importance of deadlines. I can tell you that when I visited a lot of clubs as a lieutenant governor, you really are the glue. A secretary really can be the glue that holds everything together. And if a club has a secretary that is just kind of there for the name only, it's very noticeable and it's not real healthy for the club. The secretary acts as the official contact for all club mail correspondence. You share everything that you receive from Kiwanis International or the district. You maintain club's permanent files. That can get a little unwieldy, but hopefully now with electronic organization, that makes it a little easier. Something I think sometimes people remember it or forget is there's a club insurance resource guide, and that needs to go to your safety coordinator. Every club should have a safety coordinator. And if you are doing activities and projects beyond kind of a normal scope, there's a form in there that you should fill out and send in to Kiwanis International. For example, we do even when we do Kids Fishing Day or our July 4th kid games, it just is an extra layer of protection. And also some events, if you have at venues that are owned by the town or something like that, they may request a liability waiver or something. And you can find all of that there. And there's more. Ensure that the club adheres to Kiwanis brand standards. That's become a little bit easier because they have a lot online about that. Submit all official reports required by Kiwanis International, the district, and the club. One of those, your monthly report is supposed to be done by the 10th of the month. Like March's report would be due April 10th. That gets to be tricky sometimes, but that's how they also, the district and international, keeps track of our membership numbers and those other things, our volunteer hours, etc. Fulfill all other duties documented in the standard form of club bylaws. So the important dates, October 1st is the new Kiwanis year. And so the election is supposed to be done by mid-May. So that's coming right up. And that is so that your new officers can receive information about trainings. Fortunately, now they do have a lot of virtual trainings. So that helps if people cannot get to, participate in this or get to international convention or the district convention. I understand the international convention in 2024 will be in the Denver area. So that should bring a lot of Rocky Mountain District to that. Monthly report form is due the 10th of every month. Membership reporting for annual dues. You need to check your roster often. If you have people that, it can be kind of a sticky wicket sometimes if you have people that aren't paying their dues. Don't just dump them from your roster. Talk to them first, find out if they still want to be a member and see if you can work things out. But whoever is on your roster, the 1st of October, you will, or the 10th of October, you will be charged for them for the annual dues for Kiwanis International, Rocky Mountain District, insurance, and all that. The 990 form, that's supposed to be filed with the IRS by February 15th. Our club is small and we don't have a foundation, so that's usually real easy for me to do. However, this year the IRS changed the platform. So if you're the one in charge of that, your treasurer may be the one doing that, but that did change a little bit. I cannot stress enough that when you go into the secretary platform, there is a link there to report your club elections. And it has been difficult to get in touch with secretaries. I think Allie probably can attest to that as well. But if club secretaries are not reporting who the new president is, who the secretary is, they miss out on a lot of information. So check that with your club. Obviously you are here, so that must not be the case with your club, but. Okay, I'm going to just check chat here for a minute and see what we have. If I can find it. Okay, there we go. Okay, here is the question of the hour. It says, when is, let's see. I'm going to go back just to see. Okay. When is the secretary dashboard being redesigned? Well, they've been promising us that for maybe 3 years now. And Russ Adsit, who is our Rocky Mountain District, kind of the head guy for our club leadership education. We just received word from Kiwanis International. It was supposed to be May 1st, and they were planning all of these new trainings May 1st. Well, then we got a report that now it's still on hold. So we're just continuing with what we're now doing. And we'll let you know if and when they get that platform changed. In the meantime, the way we do it, it's Kiwanis Connect, and that allows club secretaries to kind of streamline administrative tasks. Once you get on there, you have a secretary dashboard, member administration, where you can find previous members, you can add new members, you can delete members. My club used that as a kind of recruiting member. We went in and found all of our former members who had ever been a member of Kiwanis clubs or in Du Bois, and we ended up getting a few of them to come back. So sometimes people leave your club, their children are growing up, or they just get busy, but then later on they are better able with jobs or family to come back. So that's the way you can kind of use those records. Monthly report, an annual report. If you do all your monthly reports, the annual report is really done for you. It just loads all that in there. Review the club bylaws, and I know Kiwanis International is going to be updating some things this year in their bylaws, which hasn't been done apparently for about 30 years. So that means the club bylaws will probably also change. And you can look in there for your finances. It'll tell you if you have a new member and you need to pay that fee, or if you need to pay your annual fee. If you're behind in payment, that will also be there. Okay, so this is what your secretary dashboard looks like, and I apologize for the blurriness, but when you log in, you will get login information so you can get in October 1st. And right here, it has your club elections, and here's current year. So obviously this is an old slide, but you have a secretary dashboard where you will find your monthly reports. Then you have membership administration, monthly report, annual report, and finances. But right when you open to secretary dashboard, you're going to see club elections. So that's important to fill in that information. Monthly report summary. This is a fairly new feature. I think they put it in last year. Up in the top where it says monthly report, right under that it says new monthly report summary. And it just shows you your club's month-to-month comparison if you're interested in a 5-year history, if people have been doing reports, kind of for your membership, your service, your SLPs, financial image, interclubs, club leadership education, background checks. We do, Kiwanis, our club does an April Fool's fundraiser, which is like not coming to a dinner. I'm sure like everyone else, we have a lot of fundraising dinners in Du Bois, everything, from the Rocky Mountain Sheep to pretty much anything. So we do a non-dinner, and it was helpful in the letter we sent out this year to put, how much money we have given back and how many hours of volunteer hours we've done. And you can get all that on these reports. This is an interesting one. Club Locator. Jennifer might be familiar, but was a member in Riverton who came from the East Coast, and he said he moved to Riverton because he found that they had a Kiwanis club. For Du Bois, when I add Du Bois in here, I have to manually put in the GPS coordinates because, we're in the middle of nowhere. But if you keep that information up to date, the information is published. If someone is thinking about moving to your community or lives in your community, they can go to the Kiwanis International site, find a club, and you will be listed on there. So it is a really helpful tool for people. Okay, these are Governor Don's goals for 2022-23. Visit every division to acknowledge and celebrate all Kiwanis, the Kiwanis family, service they provide in the communities they serve. She had planned to visit Du Bois last summer, but that darn COVID hit again, so they didn't make it. See a 5% increase in membership by October 2023. Identify 4 to 6 new leaders within the district to train and prepare for leadership positions. And I would say if any of you are interested in, being a lieutenant governor or serving beyond your club, it really is a very rewarding and fun opportunity. If you happen to live in Wyoming, it's a lot of travel, but it is really fun. Develop 3 new satellite traditional group-specific clubs and assist with strengthening clubs who need some help. I would also say that any of us doing this club leadership education, you can always reach out to me if you're in Wyoming. I'm happy to come meet with you, or we can do some kind of virtual training. Increase partnership between Kiwanis clubs and our service leadership programs, and lieutenant governors file monthly reports on that. Identify a key leader site in Wyoming, which has already been done. There will be a key leader in Casper in September. So that's kind of exciting for those of us that live in the northern part of the state. Smile, laugh, and have fun. So that is the most important. Satellite club. Good question.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt at all. I just wanted to let you know it's not giving me the option not to close this room, and I'm really sorry for the it'll just be a little bit of a hassle, but when we come back and everyone goes to their second room, you guys just pick this one again. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Do you know what I mean?
right, because it's a 30-minute, you have them in 30 blocks. Okay. Thank you,
Sorry,
Jen.
I thought I could maybe just close theirs and leave yours open, but it's not working. So you have 5 more minutes and then just come back.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. So a satellite club. So I know there are a lot of e-clubs now. They just do it through Facebook. A satellite club, for example, if I moved to another town, but that did not have Kiwanis, but I still wanted to be in Kiwanis, the Kiwanis Club of Du Bois could set up a satellite club. But you need to have, I don't quote me on this, but it used to be you needed to have like 8 members at least. But it's just another way for people in some of these communities, especially in Wyoming, if they've lost their clubs, some of them still want to be members, but it's too far to drive to a meeting. So you can actually set up in the membership portal on the Kiwanis Connect. It asks you if they are a satellite member or a corporate member. That's another, I think, kind of an untapped possibility for membership. But so they operate, if you had, let's say, 4 people in the same town and they were satellite members, they're still under the direction of whatever their main club is, but they're not in that same town. That probably did not explain it very well, but it's just another opportunity for people to stay as members. She just said we have 3 minutes until they're going to close this, and then you're going to have to enter it again, I guess.
So could our club be a satellite? Could we host people? I mean, Lander has a club and everything, but so they join your club meetings virtually? Is that what they do?
I think the idea is that they would join your clubs, but club meetings, but they don't necessarily have to. To me, it's more almost like an e-club. They might do their own volunteer activities wherever they are, but they have to report back to their main club. And theoretically, they would, I don't know if they'd even have to be in a separate town. You might have members who just can never, I don't know. I think it's usually they're not in your same town.
I don't want to bog this down, and it'll probably cut me off mid-sentence here, but I'm missing what the benefit of a satellite club would be.
You know, that's the thing. This came about several years ago, and it's a benefit for people who still want to have their name as a Kiwanian. But as the secretary, I thought it was going to be a bookkeeping nightmare, but I wouldn't discourage it.
Sure.
I think we're about to be cut off here. We'll see. But I will find more information about that. I'm not sure if it's in the Kiwana, in the leadership manual, but I will find out more information about that. As it stands now that they have e-clubs, I'm not sure Satellite Club is much different than the e-club, but I could be totally wrong about that too. Okay, so these are just some tips, having been a secretary for a long time. Okay, they just did that. All right. Okay, I think you have to leave the breakout room and then come back in. So they're going to close in 20 seconds.
They are the E-Club people. They were reporting in progress. You know,
Well, I just think, I like you, our club is so disconnected right now. Yeah. And
We hear you, Raul.
they said, leave me alone. Yeah,
You take my money.
Okay, so I think I'm just gonna reopen the rooms for you to pick again, and then secretaries go back to your secretaries training.
Before they do that, Josephine, you want to give out a prize?
Oh, thank
Because
you,
we
Don.
made that mistake and that's our commitment. If we screw up, you get a prize.
That is so true. So we had an audio issue on the last call, so I'm giving away a water bottle, a Kiwanis water bottle, and I am just going to do a random name generator. Tom Nolan, you get a water bottle. Yay! And then our first door prize, here we go, random name generator. It was Don Ignatius.
What is that?
Little mini backpack.
Backpack? I donated back. Do another rando because I have
Okay. How
That was
ironic.
weird.
Flag.
Okay, since it just your username is CYNTH. I'm guessing short for Cynthia. Congratulations. I will look you up and mail these to you. Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
All right, I'm opening.
I think we're back with some extras. Okay, Natasha and Marlene, you have come in new, so if you will please put your name, office, and email in the chat, I'd appreciate it. And you're going to get in on the last part of this, but that's okay, because I think at the end we can just talk about some things. All right, I'll share my screen again. All right, can everyone hear me? You're all muted, I think, so.
You just wanted me to put my name in the chat, right?
Yes, please, and your your club office and your email. Thank you.
Oh, and my email, I didn't do that last time. Sorry about that.
Actually, I probably have your email, so.
I'll do it.
I'm pretty
Yeah, it's not like we're too far away from each other.
And so you're the Riverton secretary now? And Jenna's
Yeah.
gonna be
Isn't-
helping, okay.
And yes.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Let me see. There's one more question here. Okay. All right. Just some ideas. I know a lot of you have some great ideas, so we'll talk about that here pretty soon. It's helpful if you set up a Gmail account for your club to communicate with members, simplify officer transitions, provide a consistent way for others to communicate. I know some of you have your own websites and you already have email accounts. I have a lot of different volunteer things going on in my life, so I finally did this to set up one just for Kiwanis, and it's very helpful. Kathy Lee, who sometimes does these trainings, we sometimes do them together, or she does them. She provides a weekly bulletin in Alamosa. I provide a monthly bulletin. If you can get someone in your club to do that, that's really helpful. But you can put things just like, upcoming meetings, who your programs are going to be. We just take turns in my club planning the program. We just kind of go alphabetically through, and it makes it, we get a real diverse group of programs, and then it kind of shares the load versus having one or two people plan your programs, or speakers. Create and update a club Facebook page. That has been kind of fun for us in Du Bois, because I've been to a few international conventions, and you meet people, and then pretty soon you have Kiwanis friends really from all over the world, and you kind of can keep track of them with your Facebook page. There is an RMD Secretaries Facebook group that I think Josephine created a year or so ago. There's not usually always a lot on that, but that is another way to kind of keep track of, reach out to other secretaries if you have questions. Also, you can learn more. You can attend a secretary training at mid-year, which is where you are now. District convention, international convention. You can view and download a ton of information from the Kiwanis International website. If you go to Kiwanis.org and from there just search member resources and training. They have club level, club leader, club secretary. And I will send all of you that are on this today, I'll send you a virtual link, a link to the virtual training manual, because it's really helpful. And this is what the online resource page looks like. It has everything, the leadership guide, how to do online reporting. That's a step-by-step walking you through how to do that. Board meeting minutes, I do my own. I don't really use their format, but if you want a format, a template, it's there. A budget worksheet, member activity report. We're going to talk about how your club does that, because people are always asking for ideas about how you keep track of your members' volunteer hours. Then additional resources. Background checks is another one that's been a lot of questions about that. Just general resources. And if you need anything else, you can email memberservices@kiwanis.org, and they are very helpful. They get back to you fairly soon. For example, one reason I email them is we have couples, husbands and wives, whatever, partners in our club, and they only need to get one magazine. So the only way you can do that is to email member services. So just little things like that. You can get a lot of information. So this is the end of my slides, but we're going to talk about some things here in a minute. Let's see what else is in the chat. I'm gonna, okay. Oh, okay. Sorry, Marlene, I didn't see you in our last session. Oh, the Facebook group, I just looked at that. It's just RMD Secretaries, I believe, is how it's there. So I'm gonna stop sharing and go back to this. Okay,
I just joined the secretary's thing and it would popped right up when I searched for it, so.
okay,
it's
great,
there.
great. Okay. We have someone else new in here. If you weren't in the first session, you missed most of the slides, but if you just came in, will you please put your name, your club name, and your email in the chat so I can make sure I send things to people. And I'm gonna screenshot this just to make sure. I think I have everybody.
Jeanette, do you mind if I ask Marlene a question here?
Please. I
okay.
think it's very helpful to ask questions, so
Okay.
please do.
But it has nothing to do with the secretarial training, so my
That's-
apologies for
That's
that.
perfectly okay.
But
Fine.
but I noticed that Marlene is an e-club person. And we were talking earlier about satellite, groups and e-clubs and what they are. I was wondering, Marlene, if you could enlighten me. Tell me a little bit about what an e-club is.
Yes, and I'm sorry, my camera is broken. And so,
Well, it's a beautiful picture, so.
oh, thank you.
Good for you.
Thank you. We meet on the first Thursday of every month, and a Zoom link just goes out to everyone in the club, and we log on. We can log on at 5:30 to just visit, and then the meeting starts at 6. And it's once a month, and we usually have a speaker or some type of presentation. It's just all done online.
Okay.
We're going to give at district convention, Jim Ignatius and I are going to give a presentation on eClub. And so we would love to have people join. You can be in another club and be in eClub. I think
Okay.
most of us are. Most
Oh.
of us have a main club, and then we do eClub too. But for people who can't make it to a meeting, it's
Oh.
great. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So you're not a satellite club. You are the
we're a
e-club is
separate club. Yes.
Yeah, I
Yep.
see. Okay.
Marlene,
you.
do you know the difference between an e-club and a satellite club? Because
I
an
think a satellite club, and it's actually my understanding is it's a satellite group. It's
Right.
not a club, but it's a
Right.
group. It's like a subgroup of a club that likes to do social things. They meet usually in the evening, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's
And
what
they
I
might
was
meet
thinking. But
once or, oh, I'm sorry.
no, that's what I thought too, that they actually
Yes.
belong to a club,
Club.
but yeah.
Yes,
Either
and
they live somewhere else, or maybe they have jobs where they can't come to the meetings and.
right, like they can't get off at lunch, but they'll do something once or twice a month. Like Colorado Springs Club, which is my main club, has a satellite group, and they meet twice a month, or it might be once a month. I don't go, but they meet in Fountain, which is like it's a separate town, but it's connected to Colorado Springs, and it's in the south part of town. And they meet there once or twice a month at like 5:30. So people who can't go at noon go there, and it's more social.
Yeah. Any other questions or ideas that you have? One thing I know people always ask is how you keep track of your members' volunteer hours. In our club, we're pretty small, and we kind of, well, there are 20 of us, but we're pretty active. And usually I just kind of keep track of who did what. I've been to some clubs where they send out, I think Cheyenne, I was at a Cheyenne meeting once, and of course they have hundreds of members, but they have little slips on their tables where people just filled out what they had done that week. Others I've seen people, they have their members sign in when they come to the meeting and then put what volunteer hours they had that week or something. Do any of you have ideas for
we do that, Jeanette. But I have a question about this, and Natasha probably knows the answer, but what is the purpose for the volunteer hours? I mean, obviously it's important to volunteer and to record that, but I mean, what is happening there in the recording process? What's
Well, it's all about data.
Yeah.
So way back, they used to, the lieutenant governors, you reported all that to lieutenant governors and they did a handwritten report. The secretary reports have changed considerably over the last maybe 4 years. Because any viable organization, when they make themselves relevant, they tell everyone, this is how much money we donate. This is how many hours our members are giving back. So for your purposes, you could use it locally, but what I see, they want us to report it because it all goes into the database for Kiwanis International. So they have a record of how much volunteering is happening within the Kiwanis organization.
So when I do the monthly report, if it's like one of our projects like Books for Breakfast or Coats for Folks or something, that goes in. But then some of our other volunteer hours, like that monthly activity report, just goes to an Excel sheet and I don't see a place to submit that. Like I haven't.
Well, so in the secretary report, it has a section, it'll say service, and it asks you how many projects, how many people were involved, and how many hours. And you can report that. For example, we only have 20 members, but my report might show that we had, 60 members involved because there were all those different projects. So at least you just have to be consistent with how you report it. You can list it as a project just as general community service. It's not as detailed anymore as it used to be. There's a box that says, what were your projects? For example, I know you guys do the Wyoming Health Fairs, right? And so do we. So that just goes in, there's a whole list. You can click what kind of service it was. I just click medical, all kinds, for that one. And add in the hours that we spent that month doing that. One thing, some people always ask if I go help, with another activity in another organization, do I count that? And the answer is unless you are there representing Kiwanis and it's one of your Kiwanis projects, they say no.
Oh, okay.
It's there's a lot of subjectivity to how you report things. The important thing is, I think they just, want to know that clubs are volunteering. Yeah.
So when you say you might show like 60 members, but you're a club of 20, then does that, so when I'm separating things, I put the hours, but I only put the one club member for those hours. But should I be counting them as another club member then?
Well, it's up to you. What I've been told from International is as long as you're consistent. So for example, maybe we have 5 members that do every single project. They get counted for every single project. So they say as long as you're consistent. They're more interested, I think, in the hours than the number of people. They do like to know if you have people that aren't Kiwanians that are helping, which, that happens quite a bit too. Any other questions or comments about how you keep track of things? I know some of the bigger clubs, I think it's really smart to have like an assistant secretary, and the Kiwanis Connect does allow for you to actually enter that person's name, and then they can also have access to the secretary dashboard. So that's really helpful. And I think it's just smart not to have only you, even if you don't have a named assistant secretary. Sometimes I, ask that our treasurer, I put our treasurer in there as an assistant secretary, somebody, just so if something happens, somebody can get into your into your records. Because that's where you keep track of all your members, new members, adding new members, deleting members that are no longer there. Any other comments or questions? Hi, James. He's there, but he's
I put a message, sorry, my dog's barking, but I put a message in the chat to Jennifer, but any of you, if you want to give me your email address, I'll send you the Zoom link for our next meeting if you want to visit eClub.
and it's on, is it do you have
Thursday.
do you have a Facebook page also?
We don't. I
Oh,
don't think. I don't think. We might, but I don't think so.
Well, is this Dawn's eClub?
Yes.
Okay. That would be great.
So did she start a Facebook page?
I don't know. I think maybe I've just seen it. I think she's just mentioned it maybe on her page.
Okay. Okay.
But honestly, yeah, that would be great. I would love to have that link.
Yeah, I'll send it to whoever gives me their email address.
Okay.
I'm going to mute my dog now.
Any other comments or questions or concerns? Sometimes you don't know what you don't know until you get into it a while. But
This is Ron from the Eye Openers Club. I might add that we have an online form that works with a cell phone or computer. And generally, if we have an interclub or any activity that is sponsored by the club, the folks who lead that, fill that form in, they can check off the folks who participated, put in the number of hours. That goes into a Google spreadsheet. And then we use that for reporting. The club is also interested in perfect attendance. And so if someone misses a club meeting, we use that same report from the spreadsheet to make sure that individual is credited for replacing that meeting that they miss so that they can maintain their perfect attendance. So it's kind of a multi-use form that we've seen really benefit the club.
thank you. I do know clubs use Google Docs or things like that. And I think that works pretty well. We do have a couple of members in our club who are older. They don't really use electronics. So, but it's easy to just put in their information. So thank you, Ron. Allie, do you have anything you want to say as a Lieutenant Governor about record keeping?
Well, as we're going back to the volunteer hours, yes, the KI really just cares about the hours and not necessarily amount people. So for us here at Wheatland, I just have an Excel spreadsheet and I don't even have to know. I just say, okay, tally them up into the month and do that. And then when we have events and we have people that aren't Kiwanians, we make sure we get those number of people. And so we just, there was 15 Kiwanians and 5 non, and let's try and get them to join. That's a great place to recruit.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Recruit. I think because we were in secretary training, we've missed some of this. But I know that Dawn was pushing a little bit the 2 for 2, but there is another option. And I would encourage everyone to go take a look at Friends of Kiwanians. And that thing, Josephine ask Dawn for a copy of their session. It's going to be, I think, a wonderful thing, especially, sorry for the other people, but especially for us rural Wyoming people.
Yeah.
It's a great thing to doing that. And for those who maybe can't attend every meeting, I know we've had a hellacious winter. And So it's been hard to attend meetings. And so those that only want to show up for service projects and don't want to come to lunch or don't want to do the social aspect, this might be a wonderful way for us to move towards. So I would just encourage everyone to start looking into that. And we need to kind of think of a new model and how to attract more diverse members. And that's not normal word of
Allie?
diversity, but just, yeah.
Allie, is the Friends of Kiwanians, are they members? Are they members of the
So,
club or what?
yeah, as it sits right now, they would be full members. They are talking about doing type of a tier thing where there would just be an ally type thing and it's $5 a month and you just,
Yeah.
hey, more of a, hey, I can do $60 and I just want to help out, and I just want to kind of know when you're doing things on. A friend would be a full member. And then there's like the business membership, which would pay a little bit more. They're still working on all of that. It's still all up in the air. But it's
Where
a
can we get
direction to a movie.
Where can we get information about that?
Don
Okay.
Ignatius. Yeah.
Yep,
I
thanks.
would also say, I just ordered some, because I've always felt they first came out with that corporate or business membership a few years ago, but it was hard to find anything about it. And now they actually do have brochures that you can get for free through Kiwanis International from the store. If you just go to the store, Kiwanis International store,
Okay.
you can get a pack of those about corporate membership, and then you can also get a trifold just for general membership that you can give to people who we give them to all of our program guests, and then we have our own sheet for our club that has all the things we do. But
Yes.
I like I'm interested in learning more about Friends of Kiwanis because we do have quite a few people here in Du Bois that they like to help with our projects, but we meet at 6:45 in the morning. So a lot of people just, that's not their thing. Yeah. But Du Bois is different, we don't have business people that have an hour off for lunch or whatever. And we had educators that, you don't get an hour for lunch. So we've always met in the morning and it works.
And I think it's just a great way, speaking as someone in a slightly younger generation, we sign up for online monthly subscriptions like it's no one's business. So $5 a month, $10 a month,
Right.
and we get a little bit of information. That I think that can really attract some new members that is younger, and maybe we're just a little too busy in our business lives and our personal lives, but we still want to support the cause and show up for one or two volunteer events. And that's kind of the way we want to move things, is to attract that, because I love everyone, but I also don't want you guys to work yourselves to death. You should be enjoying retirement. So let us young ones do some stuff. So let's get them there. So
You know what I wonder about with that, just real quick, is I'm thinking of our club, and we have, I don't know, Natasha, half or less attend regularly. About 50% attend pretty regularly. Sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less. But those who aren't attending, if we were to provide this option, I wonder if they would be like, well, I'm going to do that. I'm going to not be a regular full-blown club member for whatever amount of dues it is every quarter and just pay $5 a month. And is that a good or a bad thing? I don't know, but I could certainly, in my mind, I'm getting like, I don't know, 10 names that are coming across that I'm sure they would say, well, yeah, thanks. That's the option for me.
yeah.
And maybe that's okay.
And actually the way it's set up right now, because it's not tiered yet, it's $15 a month. But it ends up being more than normal dues, and it actually helps because we all know we're kind of in a financial crunch. But $15 a month spread out is not as big as writing a $150 check. And so, and even though in our year-end budgets we end up having a little bit more, and so it's a way and Dawn can definitely speak more for this. She does have a trial one going and it is incredibly successful. It is just doing phenomenal. And but that's one thing. And the people who don't attend lunches, and I'm kind of thinking in Cheyenne and those, and I'm not sure, Casper, maybe Marlon can tell me a little bit more, but I know in Cheyenne, it's huge because you have to pay for Little America lunch every single week. And so their dues are crazy, but yet if they had one where you're not paying for lunch and it's a lot less, that might help, you know, and they could have a better luck with that stuff. And so it's worth trying. I know that Dawn's working on it and I think she's reeling boat in for maybe it might go more than just RMD too. So definitely talk to Dawn. Dawn's our guru on that.
I think they are ending our session. So this has been great. Thank you so much for all of your comments. And I can send out the emails of all of you that were here in case you want to ask more questions of each other. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Janet.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Janet. And thank you for being.